Hello everyone, this is GT Time and I'm your moderator Kyle Bossman, and joining us as always is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel including Brandon Jones,
Star Wars,
Daniel Bloodworth,
Thought you were about to run out of air.
and the super seat this week, Ben Moore,
Star Wars 2.
and making all of this happen, Ian Hink.
Star Wars.
We've got Ian. We've got him.
It looks so good.
So yeah, we should mention that we are recording this almost immediately after watching the Star Wars teaser, the second teaser for Episode 7.
I saw it 10 times.
Did you honestly 10 times at this point?
10 times.
What did you pick up on the 10th time?
The 10th time, the one thing that is sticking with me is there's two shots. I need to commit all of these characters' names to my memory, and I can't. But the daughter, I can't. Finn, and I can't remember what the pilot's name is, but I can't remember her name. But there's two shots of her like looking pensive and a little bit sweaty, and it's just kind of like the same shot. You know, it's weird that they there's like a close up of her, and then we see her later like standing up, and there's just
Trailer analysis.
Yeah.
Brandon, I don't think you need to memorize the characters' names. It bugs me you want to walk into the movie and go, oh, that one I already know. That one I already know. But you want that.
Well, it's kind of, yeah, I mean, there's some franchises that are so huge on story and the story's so rich, it connects to so many different things.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Ant-Man. It's like, I don't know Ant-Man, but I would like to read up on actually what he was originally, what these characters were originally, and then how they tweaked it for this movie.
They tweaked it a lot.
So knowing those relationships, like, I don't want that. I don't want to be thinking 5 minutes after a reveal just happened about that reveal. I want to be in the moment the whole time. So I want to save as many surprises as possible.
That's weird because that would take me out of the moment. I would be more like Guardians of the Galaxy. I knew nothing about that. I thought that was awesome. I didn't have anything to compare it to.
Yeah, don't you think when you read up on things, you create expectations for yourself in a weird way? Like I want to know as little as possible going in.
That's expectations are actually one of the reasons why I'm ridiculously excited about Star Wars. I'm more excited right now than I thought I was going to be.
Yeah, it's palpable. We can feel it in this room.
Because, like, when I was really excited about Phantom Menace, it was like, wow, I wonder, these Gungans look so cool. I wonder what their story is. No story. It's like, wow, like that one action sequence looks so neat. I wonder, what's the build up to that? No build up. So, like, there were all these things that seemed like there was something cool, but then it turned out not to be. Han and Chewie gaining the Falcon is cool, done. It's cool. It happened. It's already cool, period. Like, you could do, like, Abrams, you can do whatever you want to that movie. The fact that, like, they didn't have the Falcon and they get it back and then they...
He's got chills. Ben,
Yes.
we got a question for you because you were in the super seat.
Okay, let's do it.
The super seat question is, what was your most recent big mistake and what did you learn from it?
Got it. It happened yesterday.
All these are very recent.
I love it.
I saw Godzilla the game at a Bandai Namco event. Bandai Namco or Bandai? It's Bandai
Namco.
It's Bandai Namco Entertainment. And I was talking about the characters in the Godzilla game, and just very confidently, very loudly, I was like, yeah, and Mothma's in the game. Mothma is not a Godzilla monster, and I know this, and I knew that at the time. It is Mothra. And people got angry at me in a way that I have not seen people get angry at me in a long time, and legitimately so. I should have known that. And it taught me a very valuable lesson. Sometimes I think it's easy to think that you're like, yeah, I know this series and I know what's up on it. It's always good to just do a little bit of a refresher anytime you get on camera. So it was a big mistake.
Ben, that's a fantastic answer.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic segue.
Well,
Hold on.
fun fact,
Oh boy.
as an editor, I knew that it was Mothra
Yeah.
and didn't say anything. I was cutting it, and I could have stopped it.
Here's the thing that people listening probably aren't picking up on. Ian is grinning as he's telling that story.
Hey, Ian, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Makes me like you a little less. Just like you a little less now.
I'm actually a little sad.
Yeah.
right there.
Yep.
I have wrought what I have sown.
You didn't shoot that one though.
Correct. I would have fixed it in real time if I had been there.
Got you. That is a good transition, though. Let's get into our corrections for this week. Begin corrections music. We have a lot, so I'm going to try to just blow through these. Brandon, you have so much to learn about the prophets. So the floating chair aliens, those are hierarchs, and by name prophets. The ones we see in Halo are named the Prophet of Truth, Prophet of Mercy, Prophet of Regret. And the Prophet of Regret is the one you fight, you hop onto. And that happens in Halo 2, not Halo 3.
Wait a minute. You didn't know this? You didn't?
I didn't know what they were called. I knew
Yeah.
that they were important characters.
Yeah.
That they were antagonists.
I'm a little
Halo 2's
disappointed.
Halo 2's when you beat him
Yeah,
up?
yeah, you beat him
I
up in
guess.
Halo
Mothma
Okay.
Man is disappointed in you.
Yeah, Mothma Man is disappointed. That's right.
All right, gonna keep rolling. The polar bear from Muscle March has an orange bikini bottom, not pink. Yokai Watch was released in 2013, not 2011. Alex Tufexis, the voice actor of Adam Jensen, actually sounds like that.
I love that one. I listened to like 20 minutes of that interview. It was golden.
And he does. He's got a really cool, raspy voice in real life. Florida also has a Legoland. Lego Chima is the one with the animals. Breath of Fire 6 is also on PC. To find Ian on SoundCloud, it's not soundcloud.com/Ian Hink. It's soundcloud.com/Ian-Hink.
Dash, yeah, I forgot.
Oh, how do you forget that? The next Fast and Furious movie, the new Fast and Furious, is Furious 7, not Fast 7 as I called it. And finally, the correction we've received more than any other correction to date. There already exists a Back to the Future Lego set.
Which is a clarification, not a correction.
Okay,
Because
why? Tell us
I was
why.
not stating that they should make Legos. I don't think anybody should state they should make Legos. So they probably made Legos of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they have not made a Lego video game about Back to the Future.
Okay.
Nor a Wizard of Oz video game about Back to the Future. Sorry.
And it's a weird...
A Wizard of Oz video game of Legos.
And the creators program is weird. That's where fans submit Lego designs. So that's how that Back to the Future one was created. It wasn't like
Oh.
it showed up at Target. It was
bummer.
like, it came through. There also exists a Ghostbusters one. Little Lego set, get your Ghostbusters minifigures.
Oh, and somebody pointed out that there's a Simpsons-esque donut on the at the very last shot where he gets like, I drink a
And there have been
Batarang.
and Simpsons Legos
Yes,
exist.
correct.
So
Real
they're-
Simpsons Legos, no
Yeah.
Simpsons Lego game.
Yeah.
To clarify.
Oh, and also credit to anyone who picked up on Brandon's sneakers reference last week.
Yeah.
Is deserved. And correction music.
Yeah,
Those
are all great though.
That was a lot of corrections. Yeah, I have a good time doing those. to be
So I
honest.
caught the Fast 7 goof. Should I like jump on that? Should I just pounce on that when that
Please.
happens?
Yeah,
Okay.
don't be like Ian grinning in the background while Ben says Mothma. Like
Yep.
we got to learn. Like
Got it. Okay.
He'll let you hang yourself, you know?
It was in the edit. I couldn't change the past.
if your friend has spinach in his mouth, you pick it out. You say,
Yeah.
"Dude, there's spinach in there."
Yeah.
You don't change things when you edit.
Yeah, I don't cut out
can't make
when
someone
says
sound different.
Mothma 7 times in a row. I'm sorry, Ben.
You should be.
I'm sorry. I
Should
let
be.
you down.
You let me down.
Do y'all know my favorite way to start a show?
Game announcement?
Game announcements.
Which never happened.
We got one. Guitar Hero Live was announced this week. I think on Monday. I think they pulled it out on Monday though.
No, they teased it on Monday. They
teased it
announced
on Monday.
Tuesday.
You're right.
But Friday, it's in love.
Mystery game.
Yeah. Mystery game on Monday. Official game on Tuesday. Let's at least explain to anyone who's just hearing this for the first time. Brandon, what is Guitar Hero Live?
There are 3 components you need to understand to Guitar Hero Live. One,
Okay.
it has a new guitar that has 6 buttons instead of 5. The 6 buttons are 3 buttons on top of 3 buttons. So if you imagine, just take 2 buttons off of the old controller, and then the 3 buttons that are left, cut those in half, and put 3 on top, 3 on the bottom. So they're split that way, so your finger's going to be doing all crazy contortions this time.
It also looks more serious. It's not the colors.
Yeah, it's just black and white. It's
Yeah.
black on top, white on bottom.
Yeah.
And they actually said that that was a triumphant moment when they removed the colors because it was giving the players just completely unnecessary information. It's like this button being red and this button being blue don't mean anything. Whereas black is tougher than like the white stuff at the bottom's easy. If you just do easy, you're just gonna be doing white buttons, you're done. Whereas like once you bring in the black buttons, much like the white keys on a keyboard, like those are your standard keys. Whereas like the black keys, that's what spices it up.
Yeah, but also like tell everyone who plays like Bimani games at arcades that the colors don't matter.
They can matter, but they didn't matter in Guitar Hero.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that, you weren't going to be like, oh yeah, blue's the lower note. It's like it wouldn't, you know.
I would, but
It just
I disagree
differentiated
with that.
them.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
blue is always the 4th button. Like
Right.
You know, like I think it just made your mind jump to the 4th button a little bit more quickly.
But they basically they ran stats and they said the second we moved colors out of the equation, everyone's score tripled.
Whoa.
Because they didn't have to think about that anymore. It was
All
like the
right.
one extra step, that one extra neuron fire that was just totally unnecessary. The second thing is it is going to have multiplayer functionality that it hasn't had before. They haven't really go into like a lot of details on it, but the mode that they showed us was that when you're playing a song online, you can see all the other people online that are playing that song. I don't know if on the same console or not. That'd be cool if it wasn't. You know, if you could like people PC or whatever.
you're really wishing for a lot there.
Right?
Yeah.
But so you can tell, like, hey, who's playing the song that I'm playing right now? How well are they doing? And possibly what are they doing next? So I can maybe follow that person around and we can like play online together. And 3, the biggest one that I'm actually surprised to see a lot of people talking negatively of, because I thought it was pretty cool, is you're no longer sitting in the audience looking at a band that's produced in a game engine with like weird costumes and stuff like that you can put on. It's first person. You're walking around the stage as if you were in a band playing the song at a concert, and you get 2 takes that you alter back and forth between if one being bad and one being good. So if you screw up, everybody gets pissed at you. The bandmates, the people backstage, the audience.
And it's live action.
It's
And it's live action,
it's
yeah.
video.
And it was actually shot.
I
So-
think I got the impression it's more than one. I got the impression there's like a scale to how mad your bandmates are getting.
I just
at
saw
you.
one. I just
Oh,
saw
okay.
it. It was just it's good or it's bad. And it is kind of funny to be like terrible, 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 and then all of a sudden like they do a little Wayne's World, transition, and then like the guitarist loves you. He's like,
Yeah.
just like rocking out.
I forgive you, man.
Right.
Yeah, great combo.
And then 5 seconds later, I hate you again. But
I'm kind of surprised that you're surprised
Surprised by what?
about people being negative about the live action.
So you are negative. You're on the.
I'm not negative, but it's very, it's a little weird. I mean, like all it takes is just like that one image that's like on the front page, and like that guy is like, I don't know if I want to look at that guy through a whole campaign.
But that was one of the things for me though, that like it doesn't really bother me anything that they do. It could be a picture of the Grand Canyon, and like that's fine. I'm going to be staring at these notes.
Yeah,
Like I don't.
that's
care.
my other
It
thing.
really, it's not going
Yeah.
to be a game changer, deal breaker, whatever you're doing in the background.
Ben is shaking his head.
I don't know if I've ever been so angry at a video game announcement.
Oh,
like
really?
Whoa.
I was like fuming at my desk. This is, I think the guitar. I want to get this out of the way. Everybody said, and I've read a lot of articles. There's almost universal praise for the new guitar and the new guitar scheme, and I think that makes sense. Like having to move up and down. It will feel more like a guitar while still sort of keeping the arcade style that Guitar Hero is known for, but while making it complex in interesting ways. I'm all for that, but I think the FMV stuff is a giant slap in the face, and I hate it. Like I don't think I get on camera a lot and say like I hate something, but I cannot stand this because if you like music, it sucks. If you like Guitar Hero, it sucks. If you like both, it really sucks because not only are these people fake band members, but each song has a different band that is trying to emulate the band that you like. So if you are playing, I don't like My Chemical Romance, but if you're playing a My Chemical Romance song, you will see guys that are trying to look like My Chemical Romance and act like My Chemical Romance without being My Chemical Romance. That's insulting because if you see any of those people in the trailer, they're just not likable. I would never want to be in a band with these people. Like, people say, oh, the old guitars, they just had silly cartoon characters, but it's like, yes, I appreciate that because even though I didn't care about them, even though they weren't the greatest things ever, they were aware that Guitar Hero is a video game, and they created these characters that made sense in the game, and they gave it a place. They didn't try to, you're not going to try to trick me by having real people in the game. The minute excuse my language, some douchebag says, man, you suck, I'm going to be so aware that I'm holding this plastic instrument in my hands, and I'm going to feel like a loser in a way that I have never felt like a loser playing a Guitar Hero game before.
That's their motivator, man. Then you have to do good. So
No, I don't want to do good. I don't want to do good. I think failing a song is enough of a motivator. There's no fail state in this game. You just have some guy who's acting say you suck over and over and over again until the song ends. That's not fun.
And people in the audience as well, we should say. They also say you suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brandon, you were saying you don't pay attention to these people. And in a way that you're right. I think when you're the one playing, it will be less distracting. But the way that I play Guitar Hero and the way that I enjoy Guitar Hero is I remember countless nights of just getting my friends together and we would pass around the guitar or we would play multiplayer. Like, there would be a lot of times where you would be not the one playing, you'd be taking a break. And I think if I was with my friends and I had to watch those people, I would just leave the room or I would leave whatever gathering I was at because it's so annoying. Like, if you're going to have actors, like, I don't know, just have them be real musicians.
They are real musicians.
Yeah,
But-
that is true.
But it just seems so fake.
Oh, you mean
know?
the actual band? You want My Chemical Romance to be performing it? You mean?
Well, the thing that's frustrating is they haven't revealed all the details for this, but for the multiplayer stuff, they're actually playing music videos in the background.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
I think that's cool too.
That's like DDR.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just when it's FMV, it feels fake. It enters that uncanny valley. Like, this guy's saying that I suck, but I can tell that he doesn't believe it. When I watch those gameplay videos, when he's like bobbing his head and being like, "You rock," it's like, I'm playing on easy, you know. I guess I don't really feel like I rock, you know. It just feels fake.
The question I had, Brandon, maybe you can answer this. Is it a different band that's trying to emulate the look, or because each band had a name, I had the impression that you picked a band and then stuck with them for your campaign?
I don't know. There were two different bands in the two different songs that we played, so there are definitely different bands. And I don't know if you like move up to a different difficulty level, then you unlock a new band, or if you pick one from the beginning and then you play them for every venue.
I was not at the event that I myself, but the report that I heard, and maybe this was an inaccurate report, is that there are different bands trying to emulate the real bands.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
weird.
Well, I think that's the thing too. It's like any of those bands that you actually like, it is gonna just like kind of throw you out of the experience to hear the real band and then see not the real band. You know, and it's like if you actually if you actually had cover bands that were doing those songs, it would be worse on an audio front, but would make more sense in what you're seeing.
That's been weird to me ever since the original Guitar Hero, because the original Guitar Hero was mostly covers, and actually really dug that because it made me feel like I was in a cover band.
Yeah.
You know, that like I can get out on stage and legitimize the concept of me playing all these weird songs from
They
all
were
these weird
really
bands
well done covers.
because
You're right.
I'm in a cover band and I got this cool. It's like, wow, this singer's really good, man. Like his Axl Rose is okay, but like his Ozzy is amazing, you know. And so like some songs, were more realistic than others. And then in 2, I remember seeing some interview or video, and they were like, oh, we're finally getting away from that and we're getting these original songs. I'm like, oh, okay. So like ever since 2, I just kind of got over that because I had to, because it's like even in like Aerosmith and Metallica, those you sometimes weren't the band, and you were playing like as other
I think
artists.
It's at some point like you have to have the original songs because like how many bands you're gonna get covers for.
But
like if you want those like smaller obscure bands that just
And why work that hard? You make the lawyers work, not the musicians. Make them work on the game.
But I guess what I don't like is they're trying to make you feel like you're in a band, and I always felt like that was the wrong direction. Like, characters like Judy Nails are so ridiculous that it's easier to buy into in a way. It's like, this is so exaggerated and cartoony that it's something that I don't even think about, because you're not even trying to make me feel like this is real. I think that is more effective for me personally. The other thing that really bothers me is Skrillex is in a Guitar Hero game. And if you look at the songs that they announced so far, maybe this will be rectified. Everything is skewing super modern with guitar parts that really aren't that impressive, And like, I don't know. For me, it all goes. It just feels so corporate in a way. It's like, what way can we do this that is the most accessible? And I think about Guitar Hero 1, and like that set list was inspired. Like they picked the songs that made you truly feel like a guitar god. And I have, like, you go back and you watch those behind the scenes videos, those guys were into that music super, super hard. Like, are the people making Guitar Hero Live really into
excited about that
Skrillex?
Skrillex song?
Sure. There's just this fakeness surrounding the whole thing.
It's developed by the
ripping me
same
down.
guys that did DJ Hero.
So I would
That's-
say yes.
Is that the right decision?
DJ Hero had a legit soundtrack.
It did.
Yeah.
And this
Has
might
a
be,
legit
and
soundtrack.
that initial announcement might be catered towards a very specific group of people that they want to attract towards the game. Maybe a
Right.
younger audience, knowing that like the older audience will be into the name and the franchise, and maybe the younger audience will be into the music, and that's how we can get them in.
You know what's funny? I think the goal of most video games is to stare into the camera and say you're awesome. This one just goes straight for it.
Do you respect that though? That it does
No.
that?
So I think it's at least a new idea. What's really funny is I saw the comments a lot, just like they're out of ideas. It's like, no, this is an idea. If they're out of ideas, it would be the same game again.
Right.
So like they're at least going for something. It is. They probably should have hired actors instead of musicians, because you're right. It just feels weird if the acting
Right.
isn't there.
Like I just feel like they don't believe what they're saying. You know?
Because they're legit musicians and they're like, we're hacks right now,
Right.
aren't we?
Right.
Well, it's like an interesting argument, Ben, because you're saying the artificiality makes you more immersed in a way.
No,
it's
no.
like the fact that I'm looking at myself, I'm in the crowd, and I'm flying. I'm watching all these different angles of this person who's not me that I've decorated that I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And, like, no more emphasis is put on this one character than anybody else. And I'm in these venues with weird sets and shit like that. Like, at the same time, like, I don't, I'm not excited about this because it's like, wow, I'm finally going to feel like a rock star. Like, it's going to be ridiculous, but like, I would have never in Guitar Hero, in any of the Guitar Hero games, intentionally played bad just to see what happens.
Sure.
I've never done that.
But this
and like,
one-
I'm going to have to do that on every screen. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to play through and just fail the whole thing. And they won't fail you out. You can actually just keep failing for the whole song.
You're just gonna have
A lot of the
and then
footage is
you're just
that.
gonna have
Watch
insincere
all of the bad
people
stuff.
tell you how bad you are.
That's just that's entertaining to me. It's
Yeah,
funny. It's funny
sure.
to get right up in the crowd and have them look up at you and be like, "What are you doing?"
And I think,
You know?
Kyle, you bring up a really good point. If this had just been another Guitar Hero game that had been like all of the other Guitar Hero games, maybe that would have been just as depressing, if not more depressing. I totally agree that they need to go in a new direction, and this is definitely that. Perhaps this direction just isn't for me, but at least they're trying something.
Yeah.
The
What's
the
up?
other weird thing is the audio mix. Just from the footage I heard cutting the interviews and stuff, the B-roll, and maybe the mix was just weird. The guitars felt kind of buried, and also how the mix changes based on where the camera goes. So, like, does that mean that the path of every time I play this song in this venue, the drums are going to get louder at 1.5 minutes because the camera's over by the drums?
I think
And
so,
then
yeah.
It's going to
Yeah.
go over the bassist. I don't know. It felt weird. Maybe I just don't understand modern music or something. But like, the guitar felt buried. So I
right.
feel like
But we
you
also
wouldn't-
don't know if you can only play that song in that venue.
Right.
So you were saying, Brandon, that you feel like you want to fail the songs just to see what would happen, and that's a cool thing that you haven't experienced in a Guitar Hero game before. I can imagine the first time I see that, let's say there's a song I really like and I want to play it over and over again. I can see them saying you suck or you rock getting more grating over time.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
Guitar Hero is a game that you're meant to play a lot. There are songs in Guitar Hero 2 that I probably played over 100 times. I'm worried that this is going to feel more gimmicky each time I play a song.
Maybe there's like a distraction mode or something where you can just turn the background off.
They're gonna be. They're gonna have that. A cool little visualizer. You remember visualizers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, those were cool.
and Ben, I totally agree. Longevity, I think, is one of the biggest concerns. It's just like, how many times am I going to want to see that clip?
Right.
That,
Also,
that,
like,
that expression or that thing,
Anytime.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Anytime FMV has ever been in video or in video games, it ages very poorly.
This game will be awesome in 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Clothes. Look how stupid we all looked.
Oh man, they're gonna have a blast in 10 years. All right, let's move on. We have our next story. Oh boy, what happened this week is there's a patch for Smash Brothers for 3DS and for Wii U. Some people looked into the information that was in that patch. There's some audio files. One for Mewtwo. You gotta have Mewtwo's in. He's got to have a little victory song. One is there for Lucas. Of course, Lucas was announced as a DLC character, and he's gonna have to win some matches, so he's got a victory song too. Then one for a character named Roy. I was like, oh, well, Roy's he's in Melee. I remember Roy. And it's a little Fire Emblem, so it's like, okay, so Roy's probably next. And then there's a little victory tune that has Ryu in the file name. That is a track from Street Fighter 2.
Nice.
Crazy. Basically, in a dumb, stupid, this should have never happened way, Ryu has been exposed as a downloadable character for Smash Bros. Wii U, maybe just months and months before it was intended to be announced. That is crazy.
I love it.
And while I usually hate this, like I'm way more interested in seeing like what publishers have in store for surprises than just some fan that like stumbles across stuff.
Yeah.
I love thinking about that guy or gal that was just like.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because it's 2 layers. There's like the first layer of seeing the file name and like, what? And then like, wait a minute, and then clicking on it, and then you hear that. I mean, it's like your brain must explode. You're the only person in the entire world, other than maybe like 40 people at Nintendo. That know it just
Yeah.
your world
I
is
don't
on
know how this
fire in
keep-
an instant.
I don't know how this keeps happening. Like, so many things in the last 12 months have been revealed through data mining.
Yeah.
Don't put it in your game before it's ready. People are
Don't.
going to
Right.
find it.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
100%
say.
of the
Like
time.
any other company besides Nintendo, I'd say they did this on purpose. They put it in there so that someone would find it. Nintendo, I think they just don't understand the world that we live in.
That's not fair to say Nintendo. This is one person's mistake. This was one person who left that audio file in there. That's not fair to blame all of this on Nintendo.
And I could see somebody being passive about it actually, because it's like, oh, you know, like you just pointed out some meeting or something like that. It's like, just letting you know, I'm putting his name in this file.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
gonna be in there somewhere.
Jones,
and it's
it's
like,
perfect. It's fine.
It's like,
go
you know
ahead, Jones.
what? You know,
Yeah.
we have our trailer ready to go, but like, if somebody finds it tomorrow, we'll just release a trailer early. It doesn't matter. Like, I could see people being like, that's not an announcement like this. This is a
Yeah.
big announcement, because it's not only this character. It's the, you know, Mega Man's the only thing Capcom so far in Smash
Yeah.
Brothers.
Yeah.
So yeah, big announcement.
That's a big announcement.
I would not put that in that category, but
What I want to talk about with this, though, is the reaction. It has not been necessarily positive. It's been very weird, especially because of Roy, and a feeling I get from character announcements is sort of the impression that the comment sections you'll see, the reactions are almost just like, oh, Ryu? I wanted the character I wanted in the game. So, Blood, what do you think about that? Like, what do you think about this weird world we're in right now where you make an announcement and it's seen as not the announcement that I wanted? What would you say to someone who's disappointed about Ryu being in Smash Brothers?
Well, you're talking about the voting thing?
Not yet, but yeah, we can talk about the voting thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just weird. I mean, there's a ton of different characters that could be in there, and it's, you know, especially a third-party character like that, they got to work out a deal. You know, like, I would love to see a Simon Belmont or an Alucard in there, but, you know, it's like,
You're doing it already.
yeah.
Belmont's my number one. I can't believe he hasn't been in Smash Brothers. That's silly.
Yeah, Alucard would be silly, I think, but Belmont, he's got to be
Solid
in there.
Snake made it in for Simon Belmont.
Yeah.
The most depressing thing, the really depressing thing is, like, right now, kind of the big thing amongst Nintendo fans is, like, you know, we really want another Metroid game, another F-Zero game, and I think that's totally valid, but I know it's going to crush my soul that if they were to announce an F-Zero and a new Metroid, like, the first comment I would see would be, yeah, but where's the new Wrecking Crew? You know, like, it happened.
You're
Like,
right.
for years, people were like, I want Pikmin 3. Pikmin 3, Pikmin 3, Pikmin 3. There were articles every day, it seemed like, they were like, oh, we want a new Pikmin 3. Pikmin 3 gets announced, and it's like, it's not Metroid. And it's like, come on, you jerks. Like, this is why we can't have good things anymore, is because it's
Right.
like, it's just never enough.
That's a fantastic observation. This goes way outside of announcements for Smash characters. It is always seen as that. It's never seen like a, hey, here's a cool thing we're announcing. It's always, you're right, what is next?
You gotta love it if you're Nintendo, though.
Do
It's just
you?
like, yeah, because you know you don't want. Oh, who cares? I'm not playing this game anymore. But it's just like, wait, no, I want more things. You know, from this. Then it's like, great.
You know what?
We did it. Like,
I think to talk about the weird little survey where you can tell Nintendo which Smash character you want. I think that is part of that. I think that's part of them feeding into our want, and that's what's crazy about that to me is just hey, everybody, get your hopes up. Just tell us, write a whole little essay about which character, and we're gonna read every single essay you send to us.
And then we're going to crush you.
The thing is,
by
though,
not putting them in.
I love. I mean, one of the things I love about Smash Brothers is when they announce a character that nobody was asking for, nobody expects.
Ryu, sure.
Yeah, I mean Ryu or Game & Watch. That was so good.
Wii Fit Trainer, absolutely.
Yeah.
Does this Ryu announcement coming out early, does this reveal that poll was a sham? That they were just gonna pretend to have a poll and then be
Right.
like, "You wanted him, it's
Right.
Ryu."
That's a good point.
Yeah, and it's like we saw Roy a lot. We saw Roy appear a lot. Thank you for, Ian. I think that's exactly. I think that is the plan.
yeah.
I bet they're still going to use that line.
We've glimpsed behind the iron.
No, I mean
Yeah.
that poll just started. I mean, there's no way that they would.
But I mean, you think about when that poll was finished, and so it's like, okay, now the poll is finally done. Now we literally have to have a meeting tomorrow where we begin the entire conceptual phase of this brand new character that none of us thought was going to be in this game before. That can't be a month. I mean, that's got to
Right.
be half a year to like really model it, play it, test it, balance it, like
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is
animate it, like.
to Blood's point, I don't want I don't want the people's character to get in. I want Sakurai's character to get in.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That is ridiculous to like, oh, well, this character's at the top of the list. We have to put this one in. Let's start working on that character now. Instead, Sakurai was looking at the new Pokemon that like way ahead of time. He was looking at the X and Y Pokemon, and he says, "Oh, that one would be a cool character in Smash Bros. The frog one." Oh God, Kyle.
Greninja.
Thank you so much.
I just told you.
He looked at Greninja and he said,
I just imagine like one of those little houses, right? And someone goes rushing towards the house and opens up the door, and it's like, quick, Kyle needs the name, the guy with the tongue, you know, and like there's literally a guy with the book. He's like, I got nothing. You know, like,
I'm
it's
busy
that
right now.
little
Get outta here.
Pokemon village in your head, Kyle.
Oh my God. But yeah, so he looked at that and he said, yeah, that's the one I want. That was not forced upon him. That was not like, we think Greninja would be really good. He looked at him. He said, that's the one I want. And this to me is so backwards. Insane.
But makes sense for something like Infinity, because Infinity just keeps going and going and going. We're not getting another Smash Brothers for 5 years, 6 years.
They're clearly going to support this one for years.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not, you know, I don't know. It just makes more sense of like having a giant list that you're continually, you know, taking stuff off of.
Sure.
I say either make just the, you know, keep the Smash Brothers list around forever. Have it be an institution that will always be on, you know, you can get on Nintendo.com or SmashBrothers.com or whatever. But to have it just be around one game that so late after the game already came out, you know, it seemed like a launch thing or even before launch thing to like start get the conversation going.
Can I ask a broader question that I legitimately don't know the answer to? Why do I, and I'm going to extrapolate here a little bit, why
Sure.
do I and none of us at Game Trailers really care about Smash in the way that we thought we would? Like, none of us are playing Smash, and I felt like we were all really excited about it, and it just didn't have any legs for myself or anyone else at the office. Like, I feel like Mario Kart 8 had a pretty good cycle to it. I think we're more excited about the Mario Kart 8 DLC than we are for any Smash characters.
No
And
question.
I didn't like Brawl, but I played 100 times more Brawl than I did Smash Brothers 4.
Me too.
And I don't understand. I feel like this game is what I wanted, and I just don't get excited about it in the way that I thought I would, and I'm very confused.
Another day older.
I don't
Is
think
that
so.
it?
I don't think that's it. Here's my theory. I think the cast might be too huge now. I think that with Smash Brothers Melee, it felt like these are the characters that were picked. It felt like everything here is important. And now we just have like Robin. It's like, what is Robin? It's like, oh, well, that's the default name of the Fire Emblem Awakening character. It's like, who'd know that? Who named that character Robin? So to me, it's kind of just, the game's gotten almost too big. Like the stages, none of the stages feel iconic. None of them
Right.
is the same feeling of being on the top of Peach's castle. I love that stage. And like a bullet bill comes in and explodes. None of them, I don't get that feeling from most of the stages.
In some way, I think you're totally right, because I think there's this burden of expectation that Smash Brothers has on it now. And I think us talking about the character announcements and us being like, well, I'm just waiting for Ice Climbers to get in, it kind of plays into it, where I feel like there are so many things that are in Smash Brothers because it would be criminal for them not to be in Smash Brothers. And I think that's when games get a little less interesting.
Sure.
You know, like, talking about Smash Brothers Melee, you're absolutely right. Everything about that game when I picked it up, like the trophies, the stages, the characters, that was surprising to me. I didn't know what to expect. And like there are so many legacy things in Smash Brothers, which is done to honor fans, and that's cool, but I think it gets to a point where it gets a little predictable maybe? I don't know.
Sure. Go ahead.
That trailer campaign is better than that game will ever be. Just the campaign for that, all of those
Yeah.
trailers that came out, are just, there's no way I could get as excited about playing that game as I got excited about them announcing.
I
new
think that's
trailer.
true.
That's very funny.
Also, I think like the meta or the tech of this one got really weird because there was the 3DS one, and then you need an adapter to play with the controllers you want to play with, and you have to own those controllers, and everything got really muddled in that regard too.
That's very true. Even in
and
this,
no one owns a Wii U.
even in this office where we own a Wii U, we own an adapter and 4 GameCube controllers. It's like, hey, do you want to play Smash? Yeah, let's just hook it up.
Let's set up the 80 things that you have to set up.
No, I mean,
What a hassle.
yeah, I mean, personally, it's just a matter of the time investment, you know. I mean, I love picking it up and get into it whenever we're playing. It's just like to actually invest in it. It's just harder for me with everything else that I'm trying to play. So
I'm not buying that, Blood. I think if Smash was the game it was, you would put time into it.
But I think in a way though, it's like, yeah, I think like Smash is one of those things that like it's never gonna feel super new again. It's like you're gonna have additional fighters and things like that to learn, but Smash Brothers is gonna be Smash Brothers.
What if, hear me out here, what if they make it first person and they use live action?
So you can really get in Bowser's face. And
Yeah.
You can see like how you're doing. And as his percentage goes up, he gets angrier.
Yeah, and it's just like a weird freaky puppet Bowser.
I'm gonna slightly disagree with you because while Mario Kart 8 is in a lot of ways more Mario Kart, like that DLC really caught me off guard.
Sure.
Here is Link on a Hyrule bike racing in Mute City. Like they just went for it in a really cool way that I didn't expect. It's not just like here's legacy tracks. Like they have that too, but all of the things that they're adding, and even 200cc mode, I don't know. It's just I feel like Mario Kart 8 is a game that constantly catches me off guard. Whereas it's like it's cool that they're bringing Mewtwo in, and it's cool that they're bringing Lucas in, but it just kind of feels like okay, yeah, I've played as those guys before.
Yeah.
This was kind of something like I was thinking about too with Bloodborne and things like that. Is like, why were the game trailers? Why were all of us Bloodborne people more or less, and then like almost none of the Smosh Games guys were, and they play Smash a lot of the time. It's just like weird groups of people like congregate on different games.
Yeah, but
ways.
I could beat Joven at Smash, so I don't think he plays that much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's not. He's
Let's
not that
prove
good.
that.
I did. We streamed with him. I crushed him.
Oh well, then there you go.
I was on random. I was never picking my character once. Blood, you crushed him too.
No, I was falling out first every time.
Okay. Well, hold on. Before we move on from that, I want to make a bet. Here's my bet. When they announce Roy as a character, they will definitely announce the surveys. Does anyone want to challenge me on that bet?
So the announcement. So the surveys are done, and the winner is Roy. That's what Nintendo's going to do.
They're going to say we looked at them at least. They're going to mention the surveys. We saw a lot of the response, and Roy was very popular, and so we wanted to put Roy in the game.
So they're not going to declare a clear winner to the thing.
No. I don't think they will. I think
They're
they'll
not
just
gonna
say,
release stats?
like,
They're
we
just
read
kinda
your
like-
essays, and some essays were really good about Roy.
Because you can't see results, right?
No.
You just like send it out into the world, and who knows
Yeah.
if anybody read it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not taking that bet. I'm saying they don't.
You ready?
I'm saying there's a clear winner that they will show
I'm gonna agree with Brandon.
and label the winner thusly. This is the character that won this.
But we know it'll be a lie.
Yeah, right?
We don't know anything.
Okay.
That's why it's a bet.
All
If
right.
we knew the bet, we wouldn't be making a bet.
All right, so here's the terms of the bet. If I'm right, you you have to you have to print out
What's happening?
you gotta go to the you gotta make like a little thing in paint or whatever. It's just a sign on your door of your office, the same one that says editor-in-chief game trailers. You just have to say, I love Nintendo.
Okay.
Okay.
But
You
then
gotta print it
I'll
out.
put the Nintendo logo on it too.
Yeah, I heart
Nintendo.
and Nintendo.
Hand draw the logo though.
That's
Oh,
a good
okay,
idea.
okay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
crayons, maybe.
You're right.
In paint,
Okay.
so it looks terrible.
Okay.
And so that has to be on your door for 2 weeks.
Okay.
No. Come on. Forever.
Oh no! Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Forever.
All right, 1 month. I'll stretch it to 1 month.
If you lose, I will. Do you own an amiibo?
No.
Oh yeah, I will purchase you an amiibo.
Okay.
I will buy an amiibo for you, and you'll have to put it in prominence on your desk, specifically an amiibo you don't want. I'm gonna like
Sure.
over the next how long do we have? We just maybe like a month or two before
Yeah.
we know. And somebody in the chat reminds us that we made this stupid
We
bet.
should juice it up. It should be Final Bossman desk too.
It
Any
just-
desk. This desk, my work desk.
Oh, okay.
It has
Alright.
to come with me.
Like this is you're familiar now.
Yeah, for
Like,
how
this
long?
is, for
for the 2 weeks.
For the 2
For
weeks,
the 1
okay.
month. No, we'll
Wait.
do the 1 month.
yeah. It's
Any video you're in at all for 1 month.
well, if he's
Yeah.
standing or something, if there's
Yeah.
someplace to
no,
put
you,
him.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. If you're
Literally
standing,
have
you
to
have
be
to
holding.
hold it.
Or like put them in my pocket.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Those are the terms. Gonna lock that in.
Nice.
Okay. So let's move on. I want to do. This is basically. It's almost.
E3 is gonna be nuts.
It's almost gonna be a water cooler ranch. Yeah, there's gonna be E3 when they announce Roy. We've been talking a lot about Mortal Kombat X this week. I mean, we're very excited about this game. However, there are some things that damper this excitement, namely the in-game purchases. of
Also, the
Mortal
word
Kombat.
damper. Is
Yeah.
damper a word? You can damp in. Can you damper?
Damper is
yeah,
the
you can
word,
damper.
but I
Yeah,
don't
because
think
you turn the.
I don't think
The
that's
damper
the
is
word you
what
want, though.
dampens.
Oh, okay. Just
So
dampening
things
with my
have,
damper.
have dampened it. The damper dampened
Yeah.
it. In-game purchases are the damper that have dampened the dank depths of Mortal
There are
Kombat
moments
X.
of Mortal Kombat that are very damp. When you're by the ocean, you know, there's that one in the dock there with the boats.
And all that blood and ooze.
Pretty
It's
damp.
just a very damp game. That's the impression I get.
Bloodborne, very damp.
So we should talk about what they are, the in-game purchases. I don't like to use microtransactions in this instance because most of the times you're not really buying things. You can go ahead.
Oh, I also think when I think of microtransactions, I think of something that like I could just fall down the rabbit hole and spend $500 and then just like, oh, what did I get for any of that?
Yeah.
Whereas I think a lot of these are like you buy it, you're done, it's over. Like you could spend. I think it's like no, there's some you could just keep.
The easy
could buy
fatalities.
the-
Fatalities.
Yeah.
No, but there's a finite number of fatalities. So you maybe like the max you could spend is like $50 on all the
That's
fatalities.
not how that works.
That's not how it works.
Oh no!
Oh boy, you're in for
You
rude
spend one
awakening.
every time you use it.
Oh,
so
no.
yeah, you spend an
It's
easy
like a
fatality.
currency. Yeah, it's like a baby currency.
It's like a baby currency. That is exactly what it is.
Well, it's so
Yeah.
great in Wolfenstein when you put on easy difficulty, he gets a pacifier in his mouth. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it just doesn't seem like it does not seem like the franchise that would celebrate sucking.
I think the best. So the crypt thing is one of the most offensive
Yeah.
because the Mortal Kombat, the crypt has been a classic component of it, where you go and you earn coins, you spend them on really awesome stuff, fatalities,
Costumes.
concept art, all of this great stuff. For $20, just open your wallet, you get it all. You get to be that guy. Imagine the best way I think for me to think about this is I remember as a kid, I would go to my friends and I'd say, hey guys, I 100% in Super Metroid. I found everything in A Link to the Past. Imagine if the response to me saying that to my friends was like, some rich kid just said, yeah, I just bought it.
Yeah,
I
it would
just
shut
bought
you
all that
down.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then that thing that felt so meaningful to me
Yeah.
was suddenly worthless.
I'm sorry, you play your games. What are you, poor?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, this is the age we live in.
But we're at a complete impasse because, like, on one side you have all of the people that are making these games, which is just like, so what? We're gonna make more money. And it's like I can't argue that point. You're right. You know, like if I do have that one, if I do that one online match, and it's like, oh, what is she wearing? And then I check online, it's like, oh, that's only in the oh, okay, fine. I'll just like buy it. And all the people that are in agreement, that are just like, yeah, boohoo, what are you gonna do? It's just the way the business is set up. And then the other side, which is us. All of us clearly that are like, it is way more impactful for the social conversation, for my own well-being, for my whole opinion about how the experience that I had with this game, the fact that I had to go through and find that stuff, like to bring Bloodborne to get up because it's only been 20 minutes since we talked about it. It's like I beat that guy. I actually finished that, and it's just like I can't believe how much different I feel now than I felt an hour ago. Whereas you're just completely just flushing all of those emotions away by doing it, and it's just like you can't. Neither side. You're both looking. Both sides are looking across the river at each other, like, what are you gonna do? Like it's great if you feel that way. Not gonna change our policies on either side. So
I disagree with that. I think it's not harmless. I think that there are harmless things. I'd almost say the little baby currency is harmless. The other thing puts dollars and cents value on the time I'm spending in your video game, and that's what I really dislike.
I also don't think that it doesn't have. I don't think they just make more money. I think they do shoot themselves in the foot, and I am wholeheartedly convinced Evolve would have been a bigger, more popular game if that DLC fiasco stuff didn't blow up right around when the game came out.
100%.
Like I think Evolve would still be a thing. Like people are just getting sick of it, and rightfully so. I feel like every time you get excited for a game, there's always but there's this kind of gross thing.
not to mention the crypt has cool surprises in it.
Yeah.
Like things scare you. Like stuff will pop. I saw somebody tweet. They were just like, oh damn, this door. They like went up to go open something and a giant like dog demon came like rushing out of it.
The crypt
and it's
is
like,
cool.
In a menu? That's
Yeah.
terrifying. You're like going through the HUD of something and just like, whoa, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
And it removes that as well, right? Because
You just wouldn't. There's no reason to go
that
into
door's
it.
not,
Yeah.
that door's not blocked.
I
to
mean,
me.
you can go in there and look at all the things you bought.
So I just imagine like imagine playing like a Resident Evil game or like
Right.
Bloodborne. You get to a really difficult part and there's some guy who's like, hey, if you give me $20, you can go right through. It's like that. That would obviously seem ridiculous and would detract from the game experience. But there's something about a fighting game. There's something about something that is broken up by characters and stages so succinctly that you can like parsing some of that stuff off yet, and it doesn't seem as atrocious.
Ian, you're not doing a good job of jumping in today. I'm hearing a lot
I
of
mentioned Bloodborne like 5 times.
I'm hearing a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
your
fine.
noise.
Bloodborne. Well, no, I was just gonna say, I think you got cut off before explaining what all of the in-game purchases actually are.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do that.
We'll save that for mandatory update nights. I know, at least talk to me before this
You're
podcast.
expecting actual information to be disseminated through nights?
She said I worked really hard. I did this whole thing. Please don't talk too much about it. And I said, okay, we'll talk about the crypt.
Oh, all right. Okay.
The other stuff is costumes, it's characters,
The
not
baby
unusual.
currency, though, like, explain how that works, because it's horrifying.
The which one?
So
The
you
baby
buy.
currency.
So basically, you pay $5, right?
You can
to
pay $5 for 30 tokens.
Yeah, so you get 30 tokens. That means you can do 30 fatalities without putting the inputs for these fatalities.
Yes.
I mean,
You hold down R2 and then press a button.
yes.
Yeah.
But it goes away, and then you have to buy them again.
when you
Yeah.
run out of those. And there's no way to tell if you're playing with someone online if they used one or not.
Right.
Thus
Right.
completely negating the impact of fatalities online entirely.
Right.
If you are fighting with someone online and they did a fatality, it now means nothing
Right.
at all.
So that's where it does hurt you. You know what I mean? Like, it does hurt you to do stuff
Like,
like
I'm not
that
intimidated
sometimes.
by that. Doesn't matter. You know?
Yeah.
Right, and like it just casts this weird shadow of doubt the whole time. Like maybe you lose and the guy does a fatality, and normally you'd be like, "Damn, that guy was really good," and now you have to think to yourself, maybe he's using an easy fatality.
Yeah.
100% that,
Yeah.
Maybe he just lucked out that turn as
Yeah.
opposed to like, okay.
Right.
Blood, I am chilled. You've not said a word since we started talking about Mortal Kombat X.
What about?
Are you some kind of guy who like supports this?
What do you mean? I just said what?
Are you like a supporter of in-game
What does your
purchases?
silence mean, Blood?
No, what are you talking about?
Just I'm playing around, Blood.
Oh.
What's your feeling about this though? What, like, are you mad or are you like, this is the industry these days?
No, I mean it's weird because like on the one hand, like when I'm playing a game like that and I see stuff like that, the only one of those that actually would bother me probably would be the Goro one, because like Goro should be in the game. This is just dumb.
Goro is a pre-order bonus who costs $5.
Yeah, and
not
people
pre-order.
act like it's
Yeah.
your fault that you didn't buy the game before you knew whether it was any good or not.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, just to like have them on the menu and like this thing that everybody wants to play as, you know, push X to buy. That's stupid.
Yeah, he is in the character select screen.
No, even before that, the most prominent thing on the Mortal Kombat X title screen is a giant freaking picture of Goro.
Oh, that's so cheap.
Like,
But if you had something like Forza Horizon 2 and you had some car that you can only buy with in-game money, like it wouldn't make
No,
me
no,
as
no, no, no,
angry.
You
no!
had to
Don't
buy
even
the
go there. That's
Horizon.
what they did with Forza 5. That's exactly what I
But
complained
that wouldn't
about.
make me
Forza
as
5.
angry because like you compare Goro to just like another car.
But no,
you know?
that's what they took all the cars. They took the cars that they knew everybody wanted to ride in, wanted to play with, and all the past multiplayer sessions I'd done with the devs, they were playing with those cars.
Oh.
And now, day one, those cars are extra. You gotta pay extra to get those cars, and they're right there in the garage with
See,
all
I got
the other
him. You
cars.
wanted him, I got him.
Yeah, you got him. You got him fired up.
it's getting to the point, and I'm being 100% serious, where I feel like every time we do an interview, we should just seriously ask, so how are you going to screw people over?
Yeah,
You know?
100%. You should do
Like,
that. Before we move on, Brandon, WB Games also publishing Batman very soon. Do you fear in-game purchases for Batman?
Definitely will be costumes.
Definitely will be costumes.
Yeah, and the costumes never really, even like Arkham City, which was probably like my height of just Arkham insanity.
Yeah.
I remember I got like, yeah, I got, I think it was the season pass. I was just like, okay, I'm just all the skins, everything, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And like those are entertaining for a second, but those didn't really bother me.
Do you think they'll try some stuff like this? Like, hey, you can spend extra money to unlock things that normal people have to work
It's
for?
Harley, right? Harley's pre-order bonus.
That doesn't count.
You can
That's
play
not-
as Harley,
so
and
that's
then
Goro.
I'm sure she's going to be like $5 or something actually when the game comes out.
I'm talking about like the Batman crypt. The crypt of the Batman world. Do you think there'll be something where it's just say, pay money to like get our unlockables?
I wouldn't put money on it, but I also would not be surprised.
Would you be disappointed?
Yeah, maybe not as upset.
Riddler trophy unlocked.
Exactly. That's gonna be a thing, man. Ooh, that's gonna be a thing.
So they just
I'm
need.
prepared now. I'm at least prepared
So it's
now.
like if we have to live with it, if there's really no way around it, and it's the only way that these guys can support themselves, and the only way that they can make the
It's
money that
not.
they need to make. Well, just saying it was like, again, we have to live with it. If there's no decision, we're just stuck with this format. At least just separate it somehow. At least literally have like a baby sound effect that comes up every time they do those fatalities. There's something about the fatalities that's like, you don't get the full animation or something, just so to identify like, okay, that's the guy, that guy right there. That's the guy that bought it.
I mean, is this endemic of problems in our society today? Like everybody whines about the millennials, which I guess I am. I'm on the older side of it, but like
You're a
how
millennial.
everyone's coddled and babied and given things, and is this part of the problem? Is everyone just saying like, oh, no one's gonna take the time to earn these fatalities? They're gonna buy them.
Yeah, no,
Cowardice.
This is Reddit's fault.
I mean, Brendan, the only issue that I took with what you said is like maybe this is how they have to make their money. Like the budgets for games are skyrocketing, the expectations. When Tomb Raider sells however many million units, it's considered a failure. Like yes, that's all a problem. But I think about Path of Exile, which again is not at the scale of Mortal Kombat X or a lot of AAA games, but they are so inoffensive. It feels like when you're playing that game, you're stealing. Like they give you literally everything that you need, and they're doing this huge expansion. You're gonna get everything for free. The only stuff they sell to you is like extra storage or completely nonsensical cosmetic things. Dota 2 is the same way. You get access to everything. The only thing that you have to pay for is cosmetic things, and that game is insanely successful. It is consistent. Like millions of people are playing it every day. And the thing is I have a friend that has spent over $600 on Dota 2, and I don't begrudge him of that because it's like he wasn't being
that's
taken
you, isn't
advantage
it?
of. No, it wasn't me. I think I've spent like $100 on Dota 2, but I don't feel bad about spending that $100. It's like if you treat consumers well, I think they will respect you.
And I think consumers will begin to respond to that. And I think publishers that don't do that will start to stand out, like CD Projekt Red, which has been very upfront about like what you will be able to buy. We're adding this to Witcher Wild Hunt, and you can get that for free. We're adding this later on, and you'll have to pay for that. It's that simple. Like we're not going to surprise you with anything. There's not going to be anything once you get the game that you're going to dig in there and discover.
Yeah.
Because that was a crazy thing. Because Huber didn't know. Like Huber went through a lot of Mortal Kombat and then found out later. Like wow, you can just buy all of that. So the timing of that was also not good.
Yeah.
You don't want to give someone that news after they've already achieved all of that.
Oh, watching his reaction to learning you had to spend $20, he just walked out of the room.
I feel like sometimes we genuinely get hoodwinked.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we're told things will be a certain way, and what we're shown is a certain way, and they don't say anything, and then the game launches, and we're super positive about it, and then it's like, oh wait, no, it's actually like this. It's
We got
gross.
bamboozled.
What if this is weird, and I know you hate pre-orders, but what if instead of doing pre-orders, AAA games did kind of a Kickstarter sort of a thing, or like a Gustin thing, where it's like, if this many people, if 4 million units worth of people pledge to buy this game, then it'll be funded, and then we'll make it, and otherwise they won't. So like if Tomb Raider sells 2 million units or whatever it was and is a failure, then what if they had said, okay, we're only going to make this game if the success metric that we're hoping for, number of people are guaranteed to buy it ahead of time, then they wouldn't have to hoodwink us. Also, AAA should just stop if they're not making money they need to make. Make exploitation movies where you spend less money and sell the number of units you need to.
I'm gonna tweak your concept there. I think what might be a cool idea or experiment would be for things like Goro, for those to be sort of like the stretch goals on Kickstarter. So like, you don't have to pre-order, but if enough people pre-order, then we'll make Goro and everyone will get Goro.
No, why
If everyone gets it, if the work of the few benefit everyone, then that's cool.
We're trying to just reel it back a little bit. You know what I
No.
mean? Like you want broad strokes where you just get rid of all of it. And it's not possible, Kyle. We got
You're right. Yeah, I
we got a
guess
deal here.
that's the
This
biz
is how
we
this
got.
is how our government works.
That's the biz. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what everybody implements going forward. We're running a little over time, so we're gonna do a quick version of. Well, you're the one who started this conversation.
Well, you said that quiet, and there wasn't
I know,
a girl
huh?
in the room.
Oh my gosh. This is from.
He's getting accused of anytime there's a woman on the stage that he changes his mannerisms.
Just trying to be cute for you, Blood. Havan Velrab This quick one. Quick answers I need from each of you. Could you share your thoughts on game novelization? I recently saw that Dying Light would be getting a literary spin-off, and I just wonder who actually reads those things. Brandon,
No.
you ever read a game book?
No. Yes, I did. I read some Halo ones, but because we were doing the retrospective.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was okay.
That's a no. That's a no. Come on. Blood.
I didn't need to have read it.
What do you think about game novelization?
I read a bunch of them when I was a kid. The Worlds of Power with like Castlevania, Blaster Master. There's a couple of Wizards and Warriors, and then I read one of the Mass Effect spin-offs.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a quick read. Like, it was one of those things where I was like sitting around San Francisco waiting for an appointment. And I walked in a bookstore and I was like, oh, there you go. It was one that was, at least, but it was interesting because it was like that storyline that was like a small reference to in the next Mass Effect game after that. So I was like, I know what you're talking about. But in general, I don't really seek them out.
Ben, how do you feel?
Love them.
Love them.
Love them.
Oh my gosh, yes. How many books you read?
Too many.
Cool.
Most of them are bad.
What is good about them?
Because-
what do you love about that?
Because if you don't care about them, whatever. There was a time not that long ago that I was in a huge Warcraft kick, and the lore for Warcraft is ridiculous.
What's Golden? What's her name? Susie Golden or something? Who writes all of the
Christine?
Christine Golden? Yeah,
Yeah.
I read the one about Arthas. No, I lied. There's another one.
Yeah,
Cool.
Like, sometimes you get so into something that even if it's not great, you just want more of it. And I think it's cool, sometimes those books tie into the games in really, really interesting ways. And I appreciate that they're there. I think the only time that it sucks is when the next game comes out and it assumes you read the book. That gets frustrating.
Also
but-
Halo.
Halo
but,
4.
Yeah.
Anything that wants to extend the lore in a meaningful way, sometimes I want that.
I
for
like.
now.
Well,
yeah.
I like the ones I didn't read them, but the ones that were really cool to me because they fit into the actual context of the game were the Myst books.
Yeah.
Because those games are about writing ages
Right.
and stuff, and it was all about the history of the Denis and stuff like that. That was really cool, just because it actually fits the lore of the world too.
Yeah, you know what Mortal Kombat X should do? If it needs more money, they should just make books.
Right.
Come on, would you not read a book about Goro? Because I would read a book about
Well,
Goro.
Some of
the
the
comics.
cross 9 and X. They basically explain like everything that's happened
Yeah.
since then
I-
to give you a refresher.
I think they might be doing graphic novels.
Yeah, we got the comic with the game.
Oh, sure. Okay.
You gave me a Dragon Age book that I then gave to a friend of mine who, before he played Dragon Age 3, in the book there was some kind of like a party or a festival or something that they do. It was like a ritual or something that happens every year. And he went to one of these parties in the game and knew what to do, knew the etiquette of the party because it was replayed exactly the way it was in the book.
That's pretty cool.
So sometimes, yeah,
Creates a world.
It rings, yeah,
Creates
yeah.
a world.
when it's done right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Let's do bets. Let's do this week's bet is, oh boy, this is a fun. I like to do this once a month, and this is our version of this month. Assassin's Creed Chronicle China comes out on Tuesday. This is the side-scrolling Assassin's Creed game that is free to anyone who brought the season pass.
I wouldn't say free, but it's
boy.
included in the season pass.
You're right. Yeah, okay. Isn't it free to somebody? I don't care. No. The first DLC was free, and then they felt bad for giving that first DLC away, so then they made this. Okay. Anyway, it comes out on Tuesday. I'm going to look at the top 8 most recent reviews of this game on GameRankings.com. How many times will I see the word franchise?
French fries?
Franchise.
French eyes.
Franchise, got it.
The Assassin's Creed franchise.
Can we do
It's getting
franchise
tired.
or series?
No.
That's one
Okay.
word.
Okay.
Series, I'm a little cooler with series.
Okay.
So looking for franchise. I'm actually first to reveal this week. So everyone, my bet is that in those top 8 reviews, I will see the word franchise 4 times.
You didn't explain to Ben that you're supposed to write it down before the show.
Okay?
Yep.
That didn't ruin any drama. I'm good. Ben, please reveal your bet.
You just wrote it down.
That I just wrote down 2 seconds ago. I think they will say the word franchise 6 times.
Oh my. Yeah, this is interesting now because I'm in a corner. I'm in 5.
Nice.
All right, I'm going high. I'm going 12.
Whoa, so some people say
Going out.
franchise more than once in a
Yeah.
review.
Yeah.
That's a good
I-
bet.
Opening and ending paragraph.
Okay,
I think it's
lock
too high
those
though.
in.
No, I think that makes sense for this one, especially.
Yeah. That was a good bet. That's cool. Let's talk about last week's bet. I got to tell a story, and I'm going to tell it as fast as possible. Last week's bet was that Mortal Kombat X would release this week. One of the new characters in the game's roster is Takashi Takeda, son of Kenshi. Googling Takashi Takeda in quotation marks currently yields 128,000 results. How many results will there be at this point next week? Then, this week, I discovered that is not the name of a Mortal Kombat X character. What I did last week, I went to Google, I typed in Mortal Kombat X roster, like anyone would, and then I found it. The first few links actually are there. They list a character named Takashi Takeda. IGN still has this up as Takashi Takeda as the Mortal Kombat. Like, fix it. That is not. He's not named that. The character's name is actually Takeda Takahashi. So you could imagine that if you Googled the wrong name, you're going to get fewer results.
It's that Bosman stupidity quotient that you always have to factor in every bet that you do. Just possible room for error.
And so
Shooting low.
if you are to Google Takashi Takeda in quotation marks today, you're only going to get
Just a
48,100.
picture of you is all that's going to pop up.
So Blood is the one who did factor in the Kyle stupidity quotient. He bet 127,000. So that means Blood, you are the winner
Yeah.
again.
I just watched the trends. That's all I did.
So that means that the Super Seat has 5 points. Bloodworth now has 6, back in the lead. Jones has 1. Kyle Bossman has 3. Daniel Bloodworth as winner. You may close us out and also promote any video on the website that you would like.
Wait, real quick. You just got done making fun of Kyle, but Kyle is handily beating you.
Right.
By 2 points.
Okay.
Right.
Neither of us are the Super Seat of Bloodworth. We're in our own league.
I think this week I'll promote the other thing on this stage, the GT Live. I mean, we actually kind of got some last minute news that a Witcher guy was in town, and did a lot of emailing back and forth and got him on the stage, and that was pretty cool.
What is GT Live?
GT Live is on our Twitch channel every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. And Brandon hosts. You actually get some pretty positive feedback on your hosting skills this week.
For a change.
He sounded surprised.
Just
He honestly
No,
did.
I'm just it's one thing to say but there's a difference between somebody saying, "Oh, good show, everybody," and somebody who's like, "Brandon is the perfect guy for this job because of this and this and this and this."
Right.
I do believe that actually, yeah.
So, but yeah. So I mean, it was great to get him in here, and it was actually a really great conversation. And he was a fan of Mortal Kombat X, which we were also playing, and it worked out really well. Some fun little stories in there as well.
So I'm listening to this on Friday. How do I find GT Live?
It will be on the website as well, and it's also, you can go to Twitch Past Broadcasts, or you can go to the GT Reviews channel, which is YouTube/C/GT Reviews.
I'm going to recommend just searching for GT Reviews.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can do that, or you can always just GT Live The Witcher 3 on Google, and
that'll
find
come up.
any of them. Yeah.
That's probably the best option, actually. Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, so my Twitter handle is DBloodworth2.
Game Trailers VO.
At Kyle Blassman.
At BenMoore035.
Yeah, so let us know what we got wrong, and any other feedback you have.
We should decide this. Does Ian Hink get a Twitter at the end of the show?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Get Ian in there.
It's
What's
just
your
my
face?
name. I'm not gonna put the lower in there.
Okay, so if
fine.
you're listening, if you like that guy who makes weird noise throughout half of this show, it's that fan, man. I hate that fan.
Yeah, the TriCaster makes noise.
All I ask is you just turn it on for 1 second and then just shoot right in.
No, I do it
You
strategically.
can
so
slowly
you
hear
know.
him creeping in.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
do
the
it
static in a Silent
strategically.
Hill game. It's like, oh no,
Ian's coming.
Ian's coming in. Ian's coming.
That's how most people react to me, anyway. So.
Sorry, Blood, I interrupted your close.
Yeah. So talk to us, and and have a good week.
Star Wars.
I love.